and it is Friday night, August the 12th. And what's special about Friday night, August the 12th? Well, it is the peak of the Perseid meteor shower. Now the problem is there's something else that's happening tonight. We're dealing with a full moon. And I'm out about 25 minutes east of Saskatoon in one of my favorite hunting spots when I don't want to drive too far out of town. So I'm hoping to be able to capture a few images of some of the brighter meteors. I'm not expecting too much out of this because of the fact that we've got a full moon that's going to be rising in about 30 minutes time. But I also am going to be doing a few other things while I'm out here, aside from the meteor shower. And for that one, I'm going to be basically putting a camera with a 8mm fisheye and just let it do its thing, and hopefully I'll be able to capture, like I say, capture some of the brighter meteors. It's capturing a time lapse of the full moon as it rises, and according to my app, it should be rising just about there and then coming across at an angle. So for this, I've got the Fuji X-H1 and I've got my 50 to 140 2.8 with the 2x converter. With this telescope here on my EQ6 mount, I've got my reflector and I've got mounted onto it just one of my Fuji bodies with a light pollution filter in the optical train. And that one I'm going to be pointing, I think tonight, towards the Cigar and Bode's galaxies. With my 61mm refractor, I'm going to be pointing that towards the Veil Nebula. Well, what I want to do tonight is a mosaic. I'm going to basically program it to shoot 4 different quadrants so that I should be able to capture the entire complex in one image. And at the moment, as you can see around me, there's a few little stray clouds on the horizon, but for the most part, it's pretty darn clear. Soon it's time for a little update, and as you can see behind me, yes, it's getting a little darker, but more importantly, in front of me, there is the moon as it is rising, and yes, my app was right. So, welcome to Saturday, August the 13th, in the cold light of day and the end of the story. So, what happened to the other 3 goals? Well, let's talk about those other 3 goals. Number 1, let's talk about the Perseid meteor shower. I pointed my camera to the northeastern sky, widest angle lens that I had without going to my full fisheye, shot over 760 images, and as far as I can tell, I was not able to capture a single meteor. But hey, I captured a heck of a lot of clouds that rolled in that mostly cloudless sky I talked about earlier. It's pretty darn clear. So that goal pretty much was shot. Now let's talk about my Galaxy Quest. As I was trying to polar align my EQ6 mount, I wrestled with it for an hour trying to get plate solving to work, and I could not get it onto enough stars. And for the life of me, I'd never had problems with plate solving on that mount until I suddenly realized, after an hour of cursing and swearing at it, that I didn't check to make sure that my guide camera was actually in focus, and it wasn't. So that stupid error pretty much shut down that project because of the fact that by the time I figured out my mistakes, the clouds had rolled in. Then lastly, the Veil Nebula mosaic. And once again, the biggest problem I ran into there was the moon, even with the narrow band filter, it was still really difficult to be able to see anything, and clouds rolled in. So that was basically my adventure in the Perseid meteor shower. 4 lofty goals, 1 good image, and worst case scenario, as I always say though, a beautiful night under the stars. Even if I didn't get everything accomplished, I really still had a wonderful night and was there with a couple of friends sharing the experience. But the one lesson I learned from this, and let me pass that on to you, is when you're going out for a night under the stars, don't set yourself too many goals. Pick one or two that you want to accomplish. If you accomplish more than that, well, that's great. But don't choose 4 goals. You'll be guaranteed to disappoint yourself. So on that happy note, I want to thank you for coming along with the adventure. I wish you all clear skies, and I look forward to getting another chance to try to achieve those goals one at a time. Take care.